Yeah. So but you can hear me. Okay. Bro, I can't hear you. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I can go over some of my points. I thought it was a pretty bad game on the execution side, but I liked the game plan actually. I thought despite the fact that some players didn't play really well, like I didn't did we hear anyone from the pass rush other than dialed up blitzes? But on the flip side, I thought the dialed up blitzes were a really unique game plan. Like we were getting a lot from Eddie Jackson, from Brisker. Kyler Gordon was around the ball so much. I think he had a really really nice game. The whole defensive backfield had a really nice game. Um, you know, 12 points. Justin Fields needs to play way better. There's those moments where he does the things that like only he can do. It looks like, or only a handful of quarterbacks can do. But he needs to do the stuff that you need every quarterback to do, and he's not doing it right now. I thought, to be honest, I liked the offensive game plan too. I thought like some of the dialed up easy plays went really well. The play of the game, I thought, was Kyler Gordon taking the punt. No, sorry, not Kyler Gordon. Velus Jones taking the punt off the face. He wasn't like so I guess he wasn't really a punt returner in college. And it was a returner. Oh, I think I might hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Was I talking and no one heard me that entire time?
I couldn't hear you.
Okay, so maybe no one could hear me that entire time.
That
That's
might
probably
be.
yeah. Okay,
But yeah,
it's been one of those days.
yeah. I thought Velus. I mean, let Velus just do kick returning, and at the moment, and I need to see him start to play more on offense. We took him in the third round.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the punt thing is ridiculous. He looks so both this one and the one a couple weeks ago, whatever that was, I can't remember. Looks so
Yeah,
unnatural catching the ball on those punt returns. I'm like, that's
I
we're
know.
approaching like you have one job territory.
I
Um,
know, which is a
like that,
shame.
but yeah, I do want to see him more on offense. But going back to what you said about um, the secondary, it's difficult for secondary because, like you said, no one on the defensive line is playing well. Like
Yeah,
Robert Quinn, I kind of expected him to take a step back because he wasn't going to get 18 sacks again, but
right.
he's been non-existent. Travis
We should
Gibson, I
get
expected a
some.
lot more of, but
Some would be
yeah,
nice.
something. But he hasn't really played to the level that I think he's shown in the past. And Muhammad is a
Yeah,
run stuffer, and then you got the D tackles who are really nothing. So yeah, it's difficult for the defensive backs to really do anything
I
when
thought
you
Justin Jones had an all right game.
yeah
Again, Nick Morrow is a player I'm really starting to think is just a really good player. He's around the ball a lot. He's always fun. He's got some good speed to his game.
yeah
Again, like Kyler Gordon was just everywhere. It seemed like he was always around the play. He had a couple of plays, like he stopped a screen pass to Robinson in the second quarter that should have been a touchdown, and he like
yeah
just a really like a special play going like low on the blocker and then popping up around the other side. So that was encouraging. He's had a couple of
Mhm.
nice games in a row
I
now.
thought he's starting to play a lot better as the season has gone on. In that
Yeah.
one really bad game against the Packers, just terrible, bad game against
Yeah.
the Vikings, but for the most part has started to play a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
So I'm curious your thoughts because when I was talking and my mic wasn't working, I was saying that I thought Justin Fields actually had a pretty good game. He missed a couple throws, that throw to Ryan Griffin in the end zone, but I actually thought he played decently well, given that the offensive line was getting beat every single play and the wide receivers
Yeah.
passes. Like you can only do so much. Yeah, he missed maybe a throw or two, but that's pretty. I think that's nitpicking at that point.
It's honestly, there are some games it's going to be kind of hard to evaluate Justin's performance. Today wasn't a great one. It didn't.
Yeah.
There were some other things I didn't like some ball placement on. If you're doing those easy plays where you're basically dialing up outside runs to your receivers and stuff, or like quick hits, ball placement's important if you're going to let yourself like work the high upside like yak stuff. And he had some bad ones today.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
I thought, some things are like getting the line of scrimmage quick on like the 12-man thing. That showed some prowess, like aside from the game that I was pretty impressed by Justin. They actually seemed like they were getting out of the huddle really well, despite like some delay of game issues, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
I think, but with the pass rush stuff, man, like you start to like worry about those people falling in at your legs and your knees, and you're just bailing from pockets before you can really play it. I thought when he set his feet today, for the most part, he threw the ball really well with
Yeah.
anticipation.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to watch again. I don't remember seeing a single play where I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I just don't remember one where I felt like he was scrambling out of the pocket too early. It's
I
happened
thought
in
there
the past.
was,
It's
yeah,
happened.
maybe more taking sacks from pockets. I thought he shouldn't take sacks from as
Okay,
opposed to just getting rid of the
that's
ball. But
that's probably fair. That's
yeah,
definitely fair.
and I think it felt like he was a little gun shy at the start of that last drive.
Yeah,
But I mean, then he did, he rips off a 35-yard run.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you take the good with the bad. Again, this is like I don't really starting to look like this will be
it's gonna be a long season.
a bit of a learning year. We got 10 days off now, and then we're going to go play. I think on Monday night versus the
Monday
Patriots.
night versus Patriots is next. Got a lot of time to kind of look this tape over and see what went wrong, but I think a lot of it was just dropping passes and not blocking your guy. I don't know. Like I don't think the game plan was that bad. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
we were in a position where we were in the red zone twice in the first half and came out with 0 points. So those two possessions, if Fields hits Ryan Griffin, and then
yeah, we could have beat this team for
if
sure.
if we get that on 4th and 1 there, 4th and inches, 14 points right there, and that's obviously the difference in the game. But yeah, it's gonna be a long year. It's a learning year. It's a learning year for everyone. Unfortunately, that's the way it just has to be. Like this team is now 2-4, correct? 2-4, and I don't see a way to get into the playoffs. It's going to be a 4,
No,
5, 6
yeah,
game. The way it is.
lottery pick. To be honest, I said to some people before the start of this game, I said, I'd love, obviously you want the Bears to win, but if they lose, this is a pretty important tie break to lose.
That's true. We're looking on the bright side here. Definitely a good one. If you're gonna lose to a team that you're gonna be fighting for a top pick with.
Yep. Mooney needs to catch that.
That one at the end there. Yeah, Mooney. I mean, like I tweeted, like I kind of expected all the other wide receivers to drop passes, but you got to have Mooney catching everything thrown to him.
Yeah, you do, and he didn't.
And he didn't.
So.
And if he does, then we win the game. Then this is a much different vibe we got going on here.
I know,
right
it's
now,
funny.
much different conversation we're having.
If we wins the game, we go and say, the ups and downs of Justin Fields, but we gave him 2 minutes to win the game, he did it, and we're happy. And Mooney looks like a hero. Instead, this is where we are. To be honest, you have 2 minutes to win the game. Justin Fields kind of did exactly what we needed him to.
He got us inside the 5. I mean,
he should have. You know what? I think it probably should have been a touchdown. It was a really nice route by Mooney. It was a nice play call.
Yeah, the play before was a route. Mooney out of the backfield, it got tipped to the line. That would have been probably a touchdown if it doesn't get batted down.
Yeah.
So game of inches, and that's what it came down to today. So.
Khalil Herbert's a gem. We love Khalil Herbert. He'd be out there making some special teams tackles too.
Dude, Khalil Herbert's so good. That run he broke off was that the first half?
Yeah.
I can't even keep track. But yeah, that to get us. Yeah, it was the first half to get us inside the 5
Yeah.
was crazy. And Jay Montgomery played well too. I thought the run blocking was good, still good. I think teams are just kind of game planning to take away the run, but I don't think it was. I thought the run blocking was fine. Pass blocking obviously was just awful.
Yep. But lots of money in free agency, and likely going to have ourselves a first pick. I was thinking not a first pick, but a high first round pick. I was thinking, before the season, I had all these games that we've just recently lost, kind of circled as potential wins and like momentum builders.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the only one there. A lot of people had this game circled and the Giants game circled and said that those are at the very least we go 1-1 in those games.
Yeah, but it was a better defensive showing.
Yep.
A lot of the defensive back. I mean, that defensive back one looks promising. Jalen Johnson, I thought, played a really, really nice game again.
Yeah, he seemed a little bit rusty, but yeah, I mean, just in terms of Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, there was that pass interference call on him early, which I didn't really agree with.
Yeah, and that's probably where that's coming from. I'm not saying he played poorly. I just don't think early in the year he was really like locking guys down, and he had a couple targets this game.
Yeah, he had
still really good. Just
it's so funny. He was at a point where he was like 4 games in the season without a target. So even him having some targets this game was like, wow.
He was probably just surprised, like, oh, what the hell's happening? Someone's going for the ball. Yeah, I thought Roquan played well too, which was good to see. He got that sack, and then also just played good against the run, against the pass. So that was good to see. Hopefully he keeps that up. We're gonna need him to play well if we want to start winning some games. I mean, I'm fully on like team tank at a high draft pick, but I do think there is something to say about putting together some wins late in the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think where the team is at. It's at an interesting place where we actually should, have competitive games and kind of fun down the wire games like this all season because, if someone's not playing good, someone else is waiting, and this is a team where I'm sure the vibe in the like the meeting room and the locker room is like, it's next man up mentality. No, none of these spots are safe, other than maybe Justin Fields. I don't know how bad he'd have to play for Trevor Siemian to get in.
I think injury is the only way, and we're like 2 more hits away from Trevor Siemian for the rest of the year.
So I think some of the games should be fun. I think, and I also think that a lot of people are hating on the regime right now, and I don't think I agree. Like people are saying, like the Dante Pettis move is looking bad. Signing Byron Pringle. Like if we didn't sign him, we would have got X amount of like more like draft picks. And I get that, but by the same merit, what you did was you went out and you signed high upside people for no money.
Right.
If even one of Dante Pettis, N'Keal Harry, Byron Pringle had worked out or will work out, because we haven't even seen Byron Pringle work yet, that would have been a success. We would have had another building block for next year. So it's like you can't hate the process. You have to just understand, sometimes you take some risks on some upside characters and they don't exactly work out.
Right. I mean, I get exactly where people are frustrated. Like I get the frustration 100% because we could have done what the Jaguars did and signed average guys to big contracts, and we probably would be better this year. Maybe we win a couple more games, but that's really not what it's about. It was always a long process. We could have probably spent more money this offseason, but we didn't, and that's where we are right now. And I'm not ready to give up on Foles just yet, or Eberflus just yet. I think Eberflus is doing a good job given the roster. And Foles, if we go this offseason without spending money, then I'd be concerned. But he was also put in a very difficult situation with the cap space, and I know people I saw people complaining this week about not trading Robert Quinn when his value is super high, but no one was trading anything of value for Robert Quinn. An aging pass rusher on a large contract coming off a clear outlier career year. No one's trading anything for that. So
you could have given him gotten a 5th for a contender, like someone like a Chiefs maybe.
I don't even know if you could have done that because they'd be on the hook for. I think he's got a couple more years, doesn't he? Or is this the last? I don't know. I haven't looked too much into his contract, but I don't know.
I think the people that have been receiving the most criticism on the offense again had bad days today. So Sam Musford didn't play good. Mark ISM had another bad game.
That drop over the middle on, I think it was that 4th and 16 play.
the fall too.
That hit him right in his face.
I know. Dante Pettis had some. You can make the argument he should have caught that ball too at the end.
Yeah, would have made it a little easier, but he also caught that nice over the shoulder bomb for the touchdown. So
That was nice. Yeah.
the thing about Dante Pettis is like he obviously has some issues with drops, but he does get open, and that's not something the other wide receivers say. Like, he's not good, but he gets open from time to time, and you just gotta hope he starts catching the ball more. But it's like, people are like, bench Pettis, cut Pettis. Who the hell else are you gonna play? I guess Velus Jones, but I'm not sure Velus Jones is gonna be any better, to be honest. At least Dante Pettis can get open.
I'd like to start seeing him do some real wide receiver stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, for sure.
At least see what you have in him, or at least see pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah,
get him in the game.
Exactly. I mean, that's what kind of you're doing with Fields right now. The offensive line can't block, but you're just hoping that he's going to get really, better pocket presence by just experiencing it over and over and just getting better. And that's what you need to do with Velus Jones too.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I agree with it. I think to some extent, one of the learnings I've taken from this season is that, if you're going to do one of these things where, just let a quarterback kind of learn the NFL a little more in like a down year and kind of reset for the next year, at least like spend some of the money you have on getting him something he can kind of like trust around the offensive line. Because if a guy doesn't trust setting back in his hitch and like being able to actually just operate an offense on time, you can't ask him to play the quarterback position, or at least learn how to.
Yeah.
He's being like, I bet you, like, I would love if one of our, like, if listeners could go and find this stat, what his run percentage was in the NFL versus what his run percentage was in his 2 seasons at Ohio State. Because as far as you could tell watching him in college, Justin Fields is a guy that could run a 4.4 that just wanted to play quarterback, and he is not only running, but I would be shocked if he ran even nearly this much in college.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Obviously, we could look it up, see how many rushing attempts he had in college. But yeah, he was definitely not. I mean, he's a quarterback who can run. I wouldn't describe him as a running quarterback, but so far this year, you almost would describe him as a running quarterback. But I don't think that's his
balls.
Yeah, he always to me works better as a quarterback who could run as opposed to a running quarterback, which he's been this year. But yeah, again, that also comes down to his offensive line at Ohio State. If you take those 5 guys and put them in the NFL right now, they might be better than the 5 offensive linemen we have.
Yeah,
the wide receivers for sure.
Whitehair was playing good. I think Tevin Jenkins has shown some upside.
Yeah, Whitehair was playing good before he got injured. Borum has shown flashes. Borum's been okay. He's also had some really bad reps too. Jenkins.
If either of those tackles next year, but end up as like a high quality backup, you actually don't feel so bad.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about that earlier because I was starting to look into NFL draft guys, and I was thinking, you have Braxton Jones, who's a rookie starting week 1, 5th round pick. And I was like, but do they really want to draft? He's shown some flashes. He's been bad, but he's shown some flashes of doing some good things. Mm-hmm. So and I was thinking, do you want to draft a guy and then make him like a swing tackle? But if you got a swing tackle in the 5th round, that's a steal.
100%.
So and with Borum, I really want to see him inside next year. I still think he's a better guard than tackle. Really? He's a guard playing tackle right now who's just kind of doing his best. But I think if you move him inside to guard, he might be a little bit better. So hopefully they just draft 2 tackles next year. And
I'm not even sure. I think to some extent, when you look at the free agency class this year, where you're going to be wanting spending the money is that offensive line. Just because the other positions, like wide receiver, it is really weak. Defensive back is really weak. It's kind of strong at the middle linebacker position to some extent, which actually makes sense if you're starting to think, what's it going to cost to keep. Because I saw a really interesting graphic the other day that basically was saying that teams that do really well in the NFL typically have some of their lower spending at the inside linebacker position.
Yeah.
So
try and find a guy to.
But I would go and just throw as much money as I can at, 3 or 4 really quality offensive linemen in free agency this year. Fill that room with talent and just let the best 5 come out.
Yeah, I think I was looking at it. I'm trying to pull it up now, but the offensive line free agency looks a lot better than the wide receiver.
Exactly. And then you just draft a bunch of weapons in the draft and let some young guys with, good needs and some hunger attack that position. But like, go get Jack Conklin. Go get like, well, I guess
Jack Conklin, Rodney Hobson, Orlando Brown's probably gonna get
Orlando
tagged.
Brown. But if he doesn't,
But even a guy like Jason Kelsey, who's older, but like
yeah,
bring him in on a 1-year deal.
do you know how he's a center too, right? Do you know how
Yeah,
nice he would be? Do you know how nice he would be for someone like Fields?
yeah. And Elton Jenkins from the Packers is kind of a
He's
no-brainer.
another one where it's
Guy.
like,
I think Mike McGlinchey
Mhm.
free agent too,
Yeah,
someone like that. There are guys in free agency on the offensive line. There
So,
aren't guys in free agency.
you go and you get two of those players, and then you go and draft, another one in the second round, and then your first three picks, other than them, or you get yourself some receivers and maybe another tight end.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think you can never take too many swings at defensive back, but I think if the boys stay healthy, I don't even mind Vilder at the outside corner position.
No, I think we should
Look good.
give a shout out to Vilder. He has looked good the last 2 weeks.
To some extent, no news is good news with a cornerback. And
Yeah.
he's only been keeping people off the news or making plays for the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, I'd say if there's one surprise Bears player this year, it's him. Everyone else is kind of performing on kind of how you expected. Maybe some guys show flashes, but he's been consistently good this year.
Yeah, the defensive line. I mean, I think those guys would really start to eat if the defensive line could start to hurry some people up, and that might be something that would make sense with all that spending at free agency this year. Looking at it like maybe some good defensive tackles. But for what we signed, Justin Jones, I think he's played really well, especially versus what we had offered Larry Ogunjobi. So.
Yeah, I think he's providing the same thing that Larry Ogunjobi would do for far less money.
Yeah. So what are we? We're 6 weeks in?
6 weeks in. We got 12 more weeks. There's 11 more games.
I tell you what, man, it's got to start happening with Fields. You're allowed to have growing pains. It's there are absolutely asterisks by a lot of the issues that are up beside him. But the fact of the matter is if he actually ever will be the guy before this season is out, he's got to flash 2 or 3 more times, I'd say, and he's running out of time.
Yeah, I think if you and I have very different opinions of Justin Fields after this game because I thought he played actually pretty well.
I just think
the exception of that Ryan Griffin throw.
But to some extent, you can't say that because that throw wins the game.
That's fair, yeah.
In the context,
but I'm looking at it not as I don't care about wins or losses.
Right.
I'm just looking at it like an individual
snap to snap. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't care if we win or lose. I just want to see him be good. So that's the way I'm thinking. But I certainly understand the way you're thinking. You're trying to win games and you want your quarterback to go out there and win games. That is part of it too. So maybe I'm simplifying it a little bit too much.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to go back and watch it. But my initial take was that it was a bad first half. It was a better second half, but by then it was slightly too late, and it needed to be just that touch. I guess to be fair, Mooney needs to catch that ball, and it's a totally different story to some extent.
Yeah, and I will say, to be fair, I did not see the first drive of the game. I was at a bar, and they were really struggling with their Amazon TV, so I missed the first drive of the game. So maybe he looked really bad that first drive or something. I know he got sacked a couple times.
Yeah, and one of them was one of those ones that I didn't think he did a good job navigating the pocket.
Okay, well that's I just missed that one.
But it was what it was, I thought he had some nice moments. He showed the reasons why he'll always, kind of allure you. He ripped off, a 40, 50-yard run. He had that, get everyone up the line, get them set while they have an extra man on the field, got the free play, and then scored the touchdown off it. I mean, that has to give Bears fans hope.
Yeah, that was great.
That's not even just the getting everyone set, getting the penalty flag on the throw, and then just taking the shot. That game sense that's chef's kiss. So that's out. That there was good stuff and bad stuff.
Yeah,
it was a bit of an embarrassing game, to be honest.
Yeah, it just sucks that it's prime time, and we just kind of shit the bed. It seems like the Bears just never play well in prime time. If that was a noon game, then all those receivers catch those passes, we win the game. But it's prime time, and the prime time Bears just always lose and just make us look bad. Good thing we got another one next week.
Yeah, Monday night though, so we got 10 days off, little mini bye week here. We should have almost everybody healthy and ready to go next week.
Harry should be back. Revenge game against
Harry back. Revenge game. I'll tell you what, that game scares me.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted tonight to be better is because I actually think that like Bill Belichick probably has like is probably licking his chops, dialing up stuff for this offense.
Yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see how if we trust our coaches, this will be a good one for them. If we don't look completely out schemed, that'll be a very big plus next week.
That's a good point. Yeah, but you're right. Bill Belichick is going to be drawing up some weird blitzes and
coverages
and disguising coverages. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. But I don't know. It is what it is. There was something else I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. Yeah, screw it.
What else did I have here? Yeah, I thought, like I said, I think there was a lot of times that the play actually looked like a really good play, and the execution was bad, which is unfortunate.
I thought. I mean, I was down on Getsy early on, but I've come around to him. I don't think the last 3-4 games haven't really had any problem with the play.
No, completely.
And even they stopped running the ball in second and long so much. They still do it, but it hasn't been every time. There have been a few times here and there when I'm like, would have done something different, but
it's almost like they were like kind of like setting the precedent that we will do this. We will run on 3rd and 8 in the red zone. We're not scared of it. But also they'll come out with 46 left in the first half and throw the first 2 passes. And that 46-second drive, were like incomplete, and then I think we took a sack, and they went out and threw it again on 3rd down. And, they were willing to do it, and just conserve the timeouts for it. Where earlier in the year, they cowardly like around the last 2 minutes of a half.
Yeah, that was bad.
So
they went, like going for it at the end of the first half. I mean, we almost got Justin Fields killed, but I'm just surprised that they actually did it.
His knees.
I thought for sure that was going to be a run the ball twice and go to them.
I don't know if he's like playing into the refs a little bit, but he was taking like his time getting up tonight, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, he might have been playing to the refs a little bit, but I also think when you have 300-pound dudes just like hitting you as hard as they can, that fucking hurts.
He'll be bruised up. He's glad he has 10 days off.
Oh yeah, no one needs 10 days off more than Justin Fields right now. That guy's gonna be hurting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it was what it was. It's funny how that this whole game, this whole review is a little different. If that last pass is caught, then he's got then he's 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a win on a 2-minute drive under his belt. Yeah. And again, like on a snap by snap basis, he probably deserved for that to be the narrative. Yeah. But still, it's just too many simple things I want to see my quarterback do right now. I guess this is the time for him to be making those mistakes. At least for the remainder of this year, I'll give him the benefit of the learning doubt. Mm-hmm. But it'd be nice to see some flashes, I suppose. Some of those elite flashes, I guess. Yeah. But maybe we did in the last drive.
I mean, that run was pretty impressive. The deep throw to Pettis was really impressive. He had a couple nice throws over the middle. I mean, the one to Smith-Merced that was dropped was, right in his hands.
He had that little whippy one out to Cole Kmet, like probably 15 yards downfield. That kind of just dropped in the bucket. It was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's making good throws, and I know there was that one play where it was 3rd down, and he took like kind of a deep shot to Mooney, overthrew him just like a little bit, and they showed the replay, and there was like I think it was Pettis kind of open underneath him like a 3rd and 3. But I think that was the right play because you had single coverage with your best receiver, and he did have a step. So
it's like, and you could also make the argument that and I would imagine too that that's a progression issue. That Mooney is the second there, and when you saw Mooney there, there was no reason for him to ever come off it.
Right.
You probably never saw Dante Pettis. As bad as that sounds, it was probably like if Mooney's getting bracketed, this drag is definitely open.
Right, but he wasn't, so he threw the ball. That was the right decision in my book, and it just it looks bad on the replay, but that's not a miss.
It's not that's good on from moving through your offense point of view. You just want to see him and Mooney, kind of connect that better.
Yeah,
I actually thought, to be honest, now that I'm looking back on it, I did actually see when I was watching the Ryan Griffin thing, it looked like Ryan Griffin was kind of like as soon as he passed his man, slowed up for like a pass coming over the top. And maybe the throw was expecting him to just keep running by him. And that's just kind of what it felt with the same with the Mooney one, was they just weren't on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's what it was with Griffin. I don't think – but at the same time, you just got to – there was no one over there. Just put a little bit more air under it and it's completion. So, It sucks. But a good
Bit of an ugly
tanker,
loss, but to be
good
honest, it's a valuable loss in the grand scheme
valuable
of
loss,
things.
very valuable loss for the tank. Now the Commanders and the Bears are both 2-4, and I feel like they'll be fighting for that record spot for the next 12 games or
You
11
know,
games.
who else in the league is anybody only one in? Is anybody
There
one?
were a couple 1-4 teams, I believe.
Okay, well we're rooting for them.
Yeah, they gotta start winning some games. So if we could just get the top 7-8 pick, that's all we need.
Yeah, I think so too. And to be honest, especially considering um, the pensity it's looked like that polls have for drafting down. If we can turn something like a fifth, I mean even like a third to a fifth pick, man, it's not impossible we could end up with the first pick. But if we could turn that into multiple firsts this year, or like still a top 10 first this year and another first next year, we could really start to put ourselves in a position to build something good. Like
Yeah.
man, the actual process of team building is so interesting. It's like when you look at someone like, and it was so clear on like the Monday night game between the Raiders and the Chiefs. Like the Raiders went out this offseason and like completely like sold the farm to surround their quarterback with someone where like the Chiefs did the exact opposite, sold Tyreek Hill, brought in. They're gonna have 2 first-round picks for the next 2 years, and are now 4-1 in the chart, and the Raiders are 1-4.
Yeah.
Just moving like it's interesting.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think kind of like what you're saying, like the best possible scenario for the Bears. I mean, it would suck to have to lose like a whole bunch of more games, but getting the first overall pick, or even like the second or third overall pick, and trading down with a team who wants C.J. Stroud or
Someone.
Petty, whatever his name is from Alabama, I can't
Yeah.
think of it right now. To get another first round pick, get 2 first round picks, so that would be. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Justin Fields is the guy. You just
I
need
do
to
too.
surround him with more talent. And if you can get 2 first round picks and get some talent around him, they could surprise some people next year. Again, with the signing of the offensive
Yeah.
line and everything like that.
Yeah,
As early as next year, I don't think it's really out of the question to say the Bears could be good next year.
for sure. To be honest, I want to start seeing you'd really want someone like Bayless Jones to be part of that solution, and some more of the people from this draft class. But it already looks like if Gordon keeps trending in the right direction, he'll be a viable part of this defensive backfield. Brisker looks like him and Eddie Jackson looks revived, and I honestly think it's because like he trusts a lot of the responsibilities that we need from Brisker to do.
Yeah.
So if we can draft like that again with something like 2 first-round picks as ammunition, then watch out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because with Wilder and Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, like
Jalen Johnson, what a treat.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go back and watch that tape, but what did he give up at most? 15, 20 yards?
Yeah, but not much. I just remember the one pass interference. I'm sure he gave up. I think he gave up like 1 reception, but it wasn't a huge one.
Yeah. Here's what it is. 2-4 now.
2-4. It's all part of the process. We're gonna lose. We're gonna be on here on these post-game press conference, not press conference, post-game talking a lot more about losses this year.
Yeah, it'll be nice when it's a win, and it'll be nicer. It'll be nicer when it goes and it's more obviously going well for the Q. But today I don't think was that big of a train wreck as it looks. I mean, this team isn't great. That's kind of the little bit you need to remember. But there were some bright spots.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I think that's good for a post-game show. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone for the comments. Thanks Bryce Dayton for all the comments. Really appreciate you, William B. You too, everyone who contributed. Make sure. So we actually have a sponsor now. So this show is sponsored by BetUS. I have a link in the chat here. Click on that link. BetUS is going to be matching any deposit you make, 125%. So if you put $100 in, you get $125 additional. Put $200 in, you get $250 additional. So it really helps the show. It really helps me update my website, which I really need to do because it looks like trash. So click on the link and do that. Otherwise, everyone have a great day, great rest of your night, and we'll see you next week sometime. Bear down.
Bear down.